So let's talk about the awareness of drinking.
Drinking is bad.
Don't do drinking. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drinking or drugs.
Hello, and welcome back to CDMPTV with your favourite presenters, Maxie and Daisy. Today, we're going to be talking about a PSA, but not just any PSA, a PSA that is very close to our hearts.
Yes, I think it might be, out of all PSAs that exist in the world, it might be my two favourites.
Two favourite PSAs,
It's
yes.
two separate.
But it's within the same
universe.
Same universe. The MCU? No, the PSAU.
We have a lot going on today.
So much going on today. We have not just us two, but we have new people on the floor today.
It's great.
Look at them. It's Mr. Rose. Hello, Mr. Rose.
Hello, Mr. Rose.
And, of course, we have Saul.
I'm always around.
Unfortunately.
So he's here, but, you know, got to do what you got to do.
And we have a camera operator
We have
too.
a camera operator.
Who operates cameras.
He does. I don't think he's going to operate the camera onto himself, but he's there. We promise.
That would be like such an iCarly thing to do.
It would. But we're not here to talk about iCarly.
We're
Stop
not.
getting distracted. PSAs. So, what is the purpose of PSAs, you may ask?
Please tell us, Daisy.
To inform, to make aware, to warn people.
Create an awareness, something usually about an issue or a problem, something that needs to be solved or stopped.
They like to raise awareness, they like to educate people. But how do they educate people? What features do they use?
Well, I think my favourite one has to be shock tactics.
And you know what uses shock tactics? Binge Boy.
And Binge Girl.
Yes! Now, let's get into the nitty gritty. Should we start with Binge Boy?
Yes, I think let's start with Binge Boy.
Let's do it. So, Binge Boy, it is a cinematic masterpiece showing the stereotypical conventions of males, but specifically drunk males.
Oh yes.
He acts aggressive,
Very violent and
self-destructive.
it's quite uncomfortable to watch, I think.
I think the most self-destructive thing he does is rip his earring out of his ear.
Just exactly like this.
Yes! Yay! But he does that is a shock tactic.
It is. It's like,
That's like,
and it creates a sort of enigma because it's like you're
Why?
watching it and you're like, why are you doing these things? Why are you ripping
why
ears?
is he doing
Why are you
this?
smashing your face into a mirror? It's like, what's going on?
What is going on?
But the good thing about enigmas is that sometimes they can be solved, and an ABC One audience member will know this, that they're not meant to know what's going on just yet because they will figure it out.
And then when they do, they feel so gratified afterwards. So gratified.
It's very rewarding. It's like, oh, I knew that, or oh, I knew that was coming, or that makes sense.
The greatness of being an ABC One audience member.
Gotta
You know
love
who
it.
isn't an ABC One audience member? Binge Boy. Why? Because his apartment, messy. It looks trashy. It's in harsh, artificial, low-key lighting to set the mood. Do you know what something I did appreciate in Binge Boy was?
What?
You know the moment when, well, there's upbeat music playing in the beginning, and like the lyrics, for example, say "passed out on the patio."
That's very relevant.
That is very relevant. But then he breaks the radio. He smashes it on the floor, and then it goes silent, which is even more uncomfortable than it was to begin with.
Kind of hearing all the sounds is kind of like just raw.
Yeah, it is very raw. You can just hear the aggression, the clumsiness, the carelessness, and the recklessness that is being shown.
It just makes it even more uncomfortable to watch. You're like, oh, what's going on here? That's what I think.
And the thing is, this is very, very targeted to young people. The target audience is what, 15 to late 20s.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
a lot of people, it's quite sad, start drinking at quite a young age, so I think it's important to target the kind of lower end of that age,
and that's
if
what
that makes
PSAs
sense.
do. Inform and educate.
Because you don't want to end up like this, or come into this habit of drinking, and you know it's
not good.
It's not healthy.
It's not good.
And as well as
at
it
all.
being dangerous to you physically, it
affects you mentally as well.
Yeah.
And another thing is that with Binge Boy, at the end, his ego just shows. He looks so proud of himself after every little destructive thing he does. Thing is, one issue that could be raised with Binge Boy is that males may get offended by what they're seeing. They may be like, well, why are we being painted like this?
Yeah.
Why are we being shown as this clumsy, messy person? Speaking of messy, mise en scène. The apartment that he's in,
Disgusting.
gross. It's minging. It's not nice. It's not nice. The clothes he's wearing get ripped.
Cluttered. Everything's just kind of everywhere. And I think that kind of, I don't know, sometimes stereotype of boys can be like messy.
Can't take care of
unclean.
themselves.
Yeah.
And the blood, because he does a lot of blood with Binge Boy. So that as a prop costume shows
Blood
that,
as a costume.
Yeah, blood as a costume. It just shows that the stereotype of men is that they get into fights, they are aggressive, violent, can't take care of themselves. Do you know what I did like?
What did you like?
Well, I'll tell you what I did like. When he breaks the mirror, he can't see the state he's in,
Yeah.
which is a good metaphor. But then, an even better metaphor is when he breaks the watch. It's like he's losing track of time and he's breaking expensive things. The attentions to detail in Binge Boy, perfection.
It is.
Amazing.
I think it kind of really does highlight how much of a mess people become and how they kind of let out this darkness inside of them when they drink to such a heavy extent.
Do you know who also makes a mess of themselves? Binge Girl.
Binge Girl. I
Binge
think
Girl.
my favourite one's Binge Girl.
Yeah, same. It's just more iconic. You
It's
know?
just a bit more controversial, some may say.
Yes.
So,
yes.
let's dive into Binge Girl now.
Again, stereotypical conventions of females, not just males.
Is she sexualised?
Very, very, very sexualised.
Within the-
Laurie Mulvey
yeah.
would be having a field day with Binge Girl.
Then the
Oh
first
my
5
gosh.
seconds, her clothes are ripped off. And, you know, I get it, you know, at the end of the night, you know, whatever happens. But it's like, is that really necessary? Did you really need to start this PSA with her naked, literally getting dressed and immediately ripping them off? Like, what was
Ripped
the point?
tights, cleavage showing, ripped skirt. Could suggest something has happened to her.
Yeah.
Could suggest she's done it to herself.
And I think Binge Girl is kind of the message of don't drink or someone will do something bad to you, but Binge Boy's kind of like don't drink or you'll do something bad to yourself.
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
kind of two kind of the same things, but you know, different messages, and it's just victim blaming.
Yeah. Like the issue with Binge Boy could be like men won't want to be stereotypically seen as being violent, but then with Binge Girl it's like, oh, you're kind of letting it happen to yourself, which is not
seen
okay.
as being easy.
Which just isn't okay.
And this is not a message you want to be given to young girls.
It isn't.
Old, to anyone, really.
Like, it just kind of, Binge Boy highlights the hypermasculinity, kind of like, oh, we're going into fights, we're doing all of this, but then
Look how cool we are.
But Binge Girl's just being like sexualized and everything, and it kind of like outlines the toxicity that like males are kind of shown as, but then the kind of like weak submissive side of women. Yeah, but like, even though they both make a mess of themselves, Binge Girl takes it to another level.
She's putting sick in her hair.
Makeup.
Goes in around, she
smudged.
smudges and she's like, oh.
But however, she still goes into the mirror, gives herself a little touch up, because she still cares about her
Sick of her
appearance. She still cares about her appearance. Another stereotype.
Yep.
Honestly, it's a very kind of Andy Medhurst based PSA. Very much media shorthands.
Yes.
This is what a man is, this is what a woman is. Put drink in them, here's how they are. And that's how they get delivered to
Man
the public.
plus drink equals binge boy. Women plus drink equals binge girl.
Exactly.
Exactly how it works.
If you are a man and you drink, you're going to get into a fight and your earring's going to get ripped out. If you're a woman and you drink, you're not going to come back with clothes intact by the end of the night.
Binge girl really
Honestly.
just does disgust me because, I mean, I did say that I love it, but it's only because there's so much to get into because of how problematic it
It is
is.
so problematic.
Like in Binge Boy, they weren't stripping off, they weren't doing all of this.
No,
When on nights
they
out
were
usually.
clothed.
Boys always take their tops off when they're on nights out. No one did that in Binge Boy.
No.
But of course,
No.
Binge Girl had to do it.
Yeah.
And doesn't she like snap her shoe in half and stuff? And
She does.
she rips her top. She like smears.
Oh yeah, smears sick on her skirt.
She's
Skirt
like-
rips,
but
tights
she is,
rip.
she's touching herself as well, and that's it's just
She's very
Yeah.
sexualized. The whole thing is very sensual. The music to go with her, like one of the lyrics is "jump off of the bed." It's just in a very sensual kind of tone. Like it's
Yeah.
just very sexualized, honestly.
and hers is more set in her bedroom rather than anywhere else in the room and anywhere else in the house. But Binge Boy's kind of more everywhere.
Yeah. I think with psychographics, the reformer would hate this.
Yeah.
Hate this, honestly. Like they'd be
Honestly.
shocked
Yeah.
and appalled.
Why do you think the reformer would hate this?
Because I will tell you, problematic. The women and the males are being shown in very outgoing ways.
Yeah, I
Very-
don't think people are don't like people who like go out and drink and have this
Yeah.
like lifestyle that's looked down upon. It's like, why would you feel like reformers would like go out for a chill one with the gals?
A little
But-
wine in hand.
Little
Go out for a little
wine in
peach
hand.
Bellini.
Pint in hand, little glass of
Not a shot of
champagne,
Smirnoff.
gin or tonic, not
No.
not shot and Smirnoff. No,
Not a Glen's.
Smirnoff Ice, half a drink.
Get on the VK, yes.
Sours and all that.
No. Civilised.
Mimosas,
Civilised with the girls.
chill one.
With the ladies.
Home by 6, having a nice one.
Oh, I've had a glass of wine. Got to stop now.
Just have a glass
So,
of wine dinner every night.
Binge Boy and Binge Girl really takes it to the next level.
It
I think
does.
it would send them into a little bit of shock.
Shock.
Tactic. But I just feel like they're both just there's so much to get your teeth into. There's so much to analyse. TV students, this is your best friend, honestly.
Binge
your
Boy and
best
Binge
friend.
Girl are your best friends.
Because what can you say about them? You can say stereotypes, Andy Medhurst, Laura Mulvey, binary opposites. Honestly, like very much so.
Binary opposites.
They are so different. So different.
Enigma codes. All that jazz. You
Don't
can
get
really.
answered.
They do.
Because at the end of a PSA, they have a little title, a little here's what we're saying, and everything gets answered in that, and it is discovered that it is just to do with hardcore drinking.
Yes.
Very, very hardcore drinking.
I have a question for you. Do you think it does well as a PSA to inform?
Yes, I mean there's a montage of clips based on what they're doing, how they're going about things.
Yeah.
So the viewers get to really see and witness the whole process of what leads them up to this state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think a young person watched that, or many young people watched that and thought, oh yes, I don't think I'm going to drink as much anymore?
Well, I mean, as a PSA, I'm not sure it does its job very well because of the kind of issues that
How
come with it.
controversial it is.
Yeah. But like, it follows a very Todorovian narrative. I mean, they start the night, they're getting dressed, they're getting ready. Then the little middle, they just ruin everything.
Well,
They
it's kind of,
self-destruction to the max.
but that's them getting ready,
That is them getting ready.
because of the whole point of the PSA is, I don't feel appropriate. This is now's appropriate time to say it, but I feel like we should just bring it up anyway. The tagline is, you don't start a night like this, so why should you end it like that? So
Why should you end
it's
it like that?
supposed to kind of confuse you,
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah. I mean, like, if we talk about prop here, propian archetypes, I don't feel like they fit. Well, I'm sorry, but Binge Boy does not fit a propian archetype necessarily.
I think you could argue that Binge Girl does follow a bit of a propian princess because she
think,
needs to be
yeah,
saved because
if Binge Boy
she's
was
out
most
of
it'd be
control.
villain, I reckon.
Yeah.
Definitely not hero. He's not helping anyone. Definitely not himself. No, absolutely not.
But Binge Girl's kind of like, and I think because it's very victim blaming, it's like she needs help, someone needs to help her. Don't go out drinking alone. Make sure you have a safe way back. Track your location with someone.
Exactly.
Don't Uber by yourself. Don't go home with anyone else. It's very like, she needs to be safe, she needs to be protected, but he's doing it all on his own.
He's villainising himself, his actions, the self-destruction, the recklessness cannot be conformed to a propian prince.
No.
Absolutely not. Who's he princing? No one. No one. Absolutely
honking behaviour.
not. But like with the kind of conventional, because they do stick to a very PSA like format, emotional transfer, shock tactics, low-key lighting, very serious tone to everything.
Yeah.
It does follow a lot of other PSAs, and it kind of like shows, it like visualises where things go wrong. I mean, like another example could be like Dumb Ways to Die. I know it's not in the same aspect at all. They are very different. Like I would not show this to
Dumb ways to die.
so many dumb ways to die.
That's very light-hearted.
Yeah.
I think that appeals to more audiences, and it did very well for itself with the video and the app.
And then Binge Boy's like,
Binge Boy's just like, do you know what I mean?
then Dumb Ways to Die's like, go to stick at a grizzly bear, eat
Medicine that's out of date. Use your private parts as piranha bait.
It's
See,
like,
that did so well as a PSA.
coloured little blobs with faces
We
make
know the song.
make me happy.
Do you know the song, Sol? Do you know
Sing
the
it.
song?
Sing the song, Saul. Sing the song, Saul. Sing it. Sing it.
Mr. Rose,
If you
do you
know
know
it,
the
sing
song?
it.
To die. So many dumb ways to die.
See, perfect example of
Yeah.
such a good PSA.
I mean, like, not as good singing as ours, but, you know, he still knows it.
Exactly.
And if Saul knows it, everyone must know it.
I
but
agree.
yeah. I feel like, I mean, there was the Natalie Portman PSA, which was a lot more like of a serious tone that kind of Binge Boy and Binge Girl fits into.
Yeah.
But then they all follow a format. It's all to educate, inform, and the way they do it is by, they usually use examples. They usually like theatrical, like they put a theatrical kind of twist on it, and they do like kind of more of a, oh, this is make-believe, but it's not, and it could happen to you.
It's like, here's a problem. This is what happens if you contribute to this problem.
Like Dumb Ways to Die is probably targeted to like a younger audience.
Yeah.
Like I remember playing Dumb Ways to Die when I was like not my age.
a few years
ago.
And you still know the song now?
I still know the song now because it makes an impact. This uses a serious tone for an older audience to make an impact. Like, because obviously not every 7-year-old's going to be out in the town drinking
Really?
heavily. Oh, was that? Do you? It's okay. But they're not going to.
When I was 7, I was on the cellar.
Yes. But I mean, the serious tone is kind of directed to like an older audience, who are like, but the thing is, with older audience, it does include kind of like early teens who are getting into that kind of like drinking stuff.
Yeah.
Drinking stuff.
Just drinking.
That alcohol
Anything.
consumption.
Not even bleach. Not even alcohol, bleach.
Please don't drink bleach. Please don't drink bleach.
Just don't drink at all.
Just don't drink. Well, don't binge drink. That's the main kind of.
I think telling people to not drink alcohol would not go down well.
We remember how the prohibition movement went in the 1920s of America. Moonshine. Don't
shine.
You can drink. Don't binge drink.
Yeah, because not all ages can legally drink anyway.
No. So that's why it's probably targeted to a more older audience. That's why it uses like graphic imagery and everything. Because a 10-year-old's not going to watch that and be like, gotta stop binge drinking.
That relates to me.
I relate to that heavily.
God, I had too many fishes last night. Got a headache.
But then an 18-year-old's going to be like, oh.
That literally looks like me last Friday night.
Don't want to be in that state again.
Yeah. I think it's kind of holds a mirror to society and says...
Yeah, it's like looking at yourself in the mirror. It's trying to shame people and humiliate people into thinking like, if this is you, then sort it out because it's embarrassing.
Well, yeah, because you don't start a night like this. Why end it like this?
End it like this?
It just shows how stupid you are.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a personal identity would be felt with like an older audience, because they can actually like relate to this.
They might, if it doesn't relate to them and it's not them who's doing it, they might like, oh, that looks like Jessica last Thursday. Oh God, that was literally Simon on Sunday. I think I need to have a talk with them.
Yeah, and they can sit down, show their friends the PSA, and be like, stop it, get some help.
Or maybe just get them help, because I think sometimes people get a bit defensive over themselves.
Oh yeah, and the PSA does kind of include little social medias, numbers you can call, websites you can go to. So they are trying to help, but some of the ways they do it...
Because I think people are more inclined to get help if they think it's their idea to do so.
Yeah. But honestly, Binge Boy, Binge Girl is just... There's a lot in there. It's a very good kind of case study if you're doing PSAs.
I don't even think we've covered half of the stuff that you can write about.
No, like, give me a Big Bang Theory question. Nerds, ha! Give me a Binge Boy, Binge Girl question. Got it, mate.
I'll be here for days writing for hours about that. I love Binge Boy and Binge Girl.
So much.
Just as something to look at. I think it is actually problematic as anything, personally.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, well, that's all we've got to say. So, one more message. Do you want to tell them?
Please subscribe and buy the merch. Hoodies, right? Tote bags.
Hoodies and tote bags galore.
Hoodies and tote bags. Hoodies and tote bags.
Look at the hoodies and the tote
bags.
bags.
Look at the hoodie.
The hoodies and the tote bags.
Tote bags over there.
The tote bags over there.
But
if you swivel the camera round, swivel the camera.
Who's that person?
It's tote bags with The Walking Dead.
We actually hired that person as a model. That's a real life person. That's the real actor, right? That's how important these tote bags are.
It's so funny because neither of us have watched Walking Dead, so neither of us know who he's... But he's a
real
real thing, we promise. He is wearing the Durham Sixth Form and a tote bag. Get it.
And hit the subscribe button down below. Oh my God, I've always wanted to do this. Hit the subscribe button down below, press the thumbs up button, leave a comment, leave it all down below.
Subscribe to Mr. Rose.
But Daisy, you know what?
What?
You wouldn't start a TV and film episode like this.
So why?
So why?
End it like this.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe or I'll cry.